guys, it's Lainey. Welcome back. Today I am going to be playing with Concord and Night. So we have something old, which was one of their best sellers for 2023, the Sweet Bees. And I have the dies, the stencil pack, and the coordinating stamps. And for something new, it is their new 2024 color release. And we're going to be using, we're going to be using all 6 of these colors today. And we're going to be making some little bees too. Look how cute. All right, so first things first, we need to break out the stencils and do a bit of ink blending. And I'll tell you, I love stencils. This is my first stencil pack from Concord and Night, and I am obsessed, like truly obsessed. Like I just want to just ink blend with stencils like all day long. It is so relaxing and fun. I'm going to use 110-pound cardstock, and I have it oversized because I want to try to, minimize the amount of ink that's going to get on my glass mat, just to try to keep things a bit cleaner. And these are out of order. All right, putting these back in order. I really like that they have the number at the top so you can make sure that you're layering them correctly. So this is the floral one, and let's just go ahead and prep our materials. First thing I like to do is tape down my cardstock because I don't want that to shift at all. Okay, and then aligning my stencil. And then I'm going to tape this down where I can. Okay. And this is mint tape from scrapbook.com. It's repositionable and it doesn't tear your paper. I love it. So, okay, no shifting is going to happen, it seems. So let me get the colors out and we'll get started. And I'm also going to use pieces of the tape. I'm just going to cut or tear off rather a couple pieces because I don't want all of this to be the same color. I want to mix some greens in here. So I think let's go ahead and work on the smaller portion of the leaves. And I'm going to come in with Grasshopper and cover that little greenery there. Okay, and I'm gonna pick this up and just reposition it so there's no mishap. I want to make sure I'm coloring the correct things. Okay, and then for the little stems to the flowers and these leaves, I want to use Eucalyptus. Yeah, because the rainforest is quite bright. So what I'm going to do again is just mask off certain areas. I think this is the brush. I recently purchased another pack of these brushes from Amazon because I'm starting to collect my Concord and Night inks because the other inks that I have are Tim Holtz. And these inks are so much different. So I just, wanted another brush set. And these are so inexpensive from Amazon and I love them. They're still available. I'll link them down below. Alrighty. So I apologize if you can hear the heater in the background. It's snowing today. It's been snowing for hours, so it is quite cold. All right, let's pick this up, or try to anyway. Get a little tool and help me pick it up. There we go. So I'm just going to lay this out on a napkin on the side of my desk, face down, just so I don't get ink all over the place. And now it is time to bring in the second stencil. And I'm just going to line it up, tape it down, and continue the ink blending process. I'm going to do a variation of colors with these flowers. I'm going to use a little bit of watermelon and wildberry. And I'm just going to have to mask off, you know, certain ones as we did before. But I think having a combination of these colors will be nice. Okay, so I have these little details here. And I have this one circle here, but it doesn't have a flower underneath it. So I think I had it masked off and didn't realize, but I think that it's got enough going on. But I need to add these details, and this was in watermelon. And I'm contemplating on whether I should bring in watermelon and just darken it up, or should I bring in the wildberry? I don't know. Let's just work on this one and see. I just have so much on my brush. Just might as well use it. Let's just darken it up a bit. And I don't know if you can see in the bottom of the corner, my Ollie, hey buddy. He just came over for some loving while I'm got a mess going on. Okay, so this was the last stencil. Let's reveal. And that is really cute. That is a boo-boo, but I really like the colors. And we used all of them except Rainforest. So they really work well together. All right, so I'm gonna have a little craft cleanup, and then we'll trim down this piece and make it into a A2 size panel. All right, so I trimmed the panel down, and now it is measuring 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to give a little margin for our card base. That's an A2 size card. Now we have the dies and the stamps. I don't want to cut out the flowers or anything like that, but I do want to incorporate the little beads. So let's go ahead and remove this. And it's got the little, I don't know what it's called. The fly stream. I don't know. You'll see what I mean in a moment. And then we've got the little fly wings. It does give, or bee wings, it does give 2 different types of bees. I'm going to be using the traditional looking bee. You can see the 2 different ones. These will have the wings glued to them instead of just having the whole wing or the whole bee like that. So I think that this is, yeah, that's all we need from this. And we need to go ahead and stamp some things out and then do some die cutting. So I'm going to use my mini Misty today. And I'm going to bring in some cardstock here. And we're going to cut the bee out once because I already have the bee cut out, if I can find it. All right, I found it. So I have one bee there. I'm going to make one more. And I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink and stamp this up. Let's do one more stamp just to darken that up a bit. Oh yeah, that looks great. Oh, and you know what? Since we have this out, let's go ahead and work on the sentiment. So let me clean off this real fast. I keep a spray bottle of water on my desk. So I'm just going to wipe that down real fast, just so nothing transfers over. And let's turn this around. And because we're cutting out the bees, we are going to use the sentiment, "You are as sweet as can be." And let's line, line that up. There's a little ink on the paper. I'm going to try to cover it up with the stamp. And for this one, I want to do some embossing. So I'm going to come in with my anti-static, making sure that it's positioned in the corner, and then going to stamp up the sentiment with my Versamark. Press that down. And I think that that is going to be good. So let's just do it once and move this aside. I'm going to be using the embossing powder in gold. This is super fine detail. Sprinkle it all over that stamp and let it set for a second, and then dust off the rest. And that was a great impression. Let's just see if we can get that a little more vibrant there. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. So real quick, before we get the heat gun out, I want to put my embossing powder back in the container so we don't have this flying everywhere. And I'm going to come in with my heat gun, turn it on high. I like to heat it up for about 20 seconds. When it's nice and hot, then I apply it to the paper until the embossing powder melts. All right, that turned out so nice. So now the die cutting. So I have this Spellbinders die here, and I really like how it's kind of like a jagged edge. I'm not sure what it's called, but like I said, it is from Spellbinders. And size this and tape it down. I'm going to tape it down on both corners just in case. And then we've got the wings that need to be cut out, so let's go ahead and tape that down as well. And then we need to cut out our little bee. Okay, and one other thing, I want to layer the sentiment, and I have this, I have had a total brain fart. I cannot remember what this kind of paper is called, but it's in a really pretty color, and it coordinates with the ink that we were using. So I'm going to take one size up and align this and get this cut out as well. I'm going to cut both of these out on my Spellbinders Platinum 6. But it's so nice to be able to cut out multiple things like this and just knock it out. Whew, in one fell swoop. All right, we've got everything cut out. Let's pop it out. There we go. Gonna bring in my Spellbinders magnet there for these little bitty dies so I don't misplace anything. All right, so we've got one bee, the wings, and then we've got our sentiment, and then our shadow layer, if you will. So I'm thinking something like that. So I'm going to use one of my Tri-Blend markers in Citrus Blend, and I'm going to come in with the dark and just color in the little stripes there where there's white, so it looks like a traditional bumblebee. And then it's already got the wings, but it has the details cut out, so I need to bring in just a little bit of liquid glue. I'm going to use my wand tool here to align the wings, and then we'll let that dry. How cute are these little bees? It is such a nice touch, and adding the yellow is just a perfect part. I'm really glad that you're able to do that, and that this set gave you 2 different bumblebees to work with. All right, so let's go ahead and put the pin back in the glue. And I need to align this and get placement so I can bring in this die piece here, because I still have to put that impression in the panel. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to use my mint tape instead so it doesn't mess anything up on accident. Let's turn that. Okay, tape that down and then bring in the shadow layer here. I think that that is a good position. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and then we'll replace it somewhere else because we're going to have the 2 bees incorporated on the panel. Okay, very carefully. And you can see the stitching there. So once again, well, it was a good thing. That little piece doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up. Where I messed up, I missed a flower. Maybe one at the top and then kind of one at the bottom, with alternating the stitched die here. Oops. All right, let's go ahead and run this through as well. I do want to point out, even though this die set was from 2023, last year, I recently purchased it when I purchased the new inks. So, it is marked down a bit, but you can still purchase this. So that's why I incorporated it with the new inks, because it's something old and something new, but you can still purchase it yourself. All right, so I have those stitchings in place. So now I want to build this up. I have this foam tape here. It's a very thin foam tape, but it is from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to align the strips on here to give it some dimension and stability. Okay, so center aligning this. Let's see. Okay. I'm getting that pressed down. And now we can glue this down. And I want to stay within the smaller circle, the smaller square, the sentiment part, because if I put glue on the edges, you can see it and it doesn't look very good. I still cannot think of what this stuff is called. So weird. I'm just such a brain fart. Okay, and once again, aligning this in the center of the card. So now for the cute little part, the little bees. So one is going to have to go here, and then the other one, is going to be at the bottom. And let's elevate these as well. I have these foam dots from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to bring in a weeding tool here that I use for my other crafts, my Cricut crafts. I really like using this tool for the pop dots. Okay. And I'm going to remove the backer. So this card doesn't take very long. I feel like the longest part is the ink blending, but that is an enjoyable aspect to me. And I love it, how every time you pick up a stencil, it's a surprise, a good surprise. All right, now let's see. Okay. So we're definitely going to have to stabilize this with some foam tape as well, so because it's wanting to concave, but that's what we've got so far. All right, so here is my card base, A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 in a portrait orientation. And then we cut this down a bit, so it's measuring, the panel's measuring 4 by 5 1/4. So it just has a slight margin around the panel. So let's have this smaller piece there. So now I'm just going to add this thicker foam to the panel. And this is just going to make it more sturdy. And I like to position these close together because I don't like any divots in the card. I think I'm a little rough on my paper, and I have found that if they are spaced out a little bit more than this, they start to concave in that little area, and I don't like that. So more foam tape is used, and that one is crooked. That one I got a little too close to the other one. All right, last strip, and then let's get this positioned. Perfect. Just making sure that it's all pressed down. All right, look at how cute this card is. And I love the elevation, how the bees are propped up. Just such a nice touch. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps the channel. And thank you so much for watching. Remember to look in the description box for any of the tools and supplies that I used today. And I'll see you next week with another card. Bye, everyone.